we also, on the corners, will stabilize them. Just coming this way, and that's going to I would say trim. You want your fence about 6 feet high, so the 10 footers would be 2 feet, 4 feet in. And these was full, PDA.
Because I was looking at the wrong camera earlier, we're going to film this a second time. So, not the whole thing, but so this is the board that yesterday we put the glue on. And I mentioned yesterday that typically you would do all sides of the board, but I realized because it's such high quality plywood, I don't think that's necessary. I could come back later and put the glue on the back if I wanted to. Not sure it's necessary though. So I'm going to put a second heated solution of glue on this, and then I mentioned just using just fabric that you can find at any fabric store, or I mentioned you can use it from a shrine cloth, or if you're in a monastery, maybe the altar cloth in a particular monastery. As long as it's fairly thin material and clean and free of any defects. You can see here there's a bit of a, I can say, a double kind of thread going through there. That don't think is going to be a problem, but I just want to make sure that that is fairly clean, looking for a place to put it. So here we go. Here's the heated glue. I'm just going to put just a little bit. And my theory on this is that it heats the board up a little bit, maybe softens the glue that we put on yesterday just a tiny bit. Kind of makes it wet, so then when you put the cloth on top of it, it gives it something to soak into. So taking the cloth, being careful that it's clean, no threads or anything on attached to it. Set it on like that, and then just initially pressing out and making sure you can try to get out any air bubbles that might be on the surface. And I'm not trying to do 100% perfect, but putting it on like that. And then I come back with the paintbrush. And this time I use a lot more, but letting this saturate the entire surface. I'm actually using quite a bit there just because this is the last board I'm going to do before I go back and give a demo on how to put the gesso, how to prepare the gesso, and how to paint it on here. So I can already tell I should have taken a little more time here because there was a little bit of a rough edge here. If I had been smart, I would have sanded it down with some sandpaper. But this is probably just going to be an experiment. Probably the icon that I'll paint on this will just be a test. Like I'll have a new image that I want to do and play around with colors or design elements. And so these are kind of practice, we call them practice boards. So I'm not 100% worried about them being perfect. I'm not worried about them being perfect at all. So